What was something that was honestly good about the old days? Buying a house with one salary. Having a childhood without a phone. Just playing outside. No worries about anything. And I was very lucky that I was never bullied on the internet, and that my home was my safe place. You weren't always contactable prior to mobiles if you left the house unless someone came and found you weren't available. No social media. The value of delayed gratification, like sending a letter or developing photos. Wondering. You didn't have the answer instantly available. You'd have to think about it. Come up with theories. Ask people. Call up somebody. Go to the library. It was frustrating. Sometimes but rewarding. Privacy not always being reachable. Playing outside with my friends till the street lights came on. Call me crazy, but I miss scheduled television. I know it still exists, but it's not the same. I remember the days of the anticipation of having to wait a week for a new episode. Now, there's an endless sea of immediate media. I have many streaming services and feel like there's never anything to watch. Same could be said about going out as a family and getting a video at Blockbuster for movie night. Being able to buy a house on one person's average salary. I think it's the social connection. People felt more connected to their neighbors and communities, having meals, playing outdoor games, and spent more quality time together. This sense of closeness is something many people miss today. Life felt more real, calling your friend's house from a phone because there were no smartphones back then, and asking your friend's parents if he can come out to play, then going with that friend to another friend's house to invite him out. One aspect that many people find honestly good about the old days is the simplicity and slower pace of life. In the past, there was often less reliance on technology and social media, allowing for more meaningful face-to-face interactions and a greater connection to the present moment. Additionally, there may have been a stronger sense of community and camaraderie, as people often lived closer together and relied on each other for support and companionship. People weren't so much into conspiracy theories. People weren't so radical in their political beliefs. If somebody made a phone call that was not answered, then the caller called back later. Finding music out without the internet. Catching a bus and train into town with my mates. Scouring niche record shops. I grew up with cassettes and CDs and listening to people we hadn't heard of. Hip-hop, punk, heavy metal, electro and grunge. Finding out off magazines which would be months old and imported from the States or UK. Reading about new bands and then trying to search for them. Some held up, some were brilliant and some were shit. But you couldn't tell from the story in the magazine. Thanks Billy Joel. It was so much goddamn fun. I miss it, and I worry my children won't have a similar feeling when discovering music, although I do know they will have a different and new feeling. 1980s is the good old days. Technology was just right. We had bulletin boards to leave messages and word processors to type on and save files on 5.5-inch floppies. Music had improved dramatically, and with MTV, you really could enjoy the bands and know them. Arcades helped gamers find new friends. Malls did the same for romance. Movies seemed so well done, many even had sequels. Women also had style and greater overall sex appeal, now lost today. Cars had fuel injections, so you wouldn't be stalled due to carburetors being stuck. Those who know and remember will understand. The Cold War wasn't such a threat. Many teens felt a sigh of relief from the fear of the draft. And for me, role-playing games were the best times with friends. Overall, the 1980s were the best. One good thing about the old days was the simplicity and slower pace of life. Without the constant buzz of technology, people often had more time for meaningful connections, hobbies, and enjoying the present moment. The skies were darker. Parents not being paranoid about pedophile kidnappers lurking around every corner and being allowed a great deal of independence as a kid.